In an attempt to make interesting characters, your typical player will take a race and take a class that doesn't suit said race and slam them together in a vain hope of making something that'll quote-unquote work. In most cases, as miraculous as they are, they do. And I don't even mean on a basis of numbers or stats, but on a general that doesn't seem right sort of way. Like seeing an orc being one of the most powerful wizards in the land, or a good aligned drow, as overplayed as that is at this point. Another is when you try two classes that would work really well together and botch it because they just planned poorly or just had really poor rolls. I'm fortunate that Gnome and Barbarian worked out for Darius, my very first D&D character, but since then I've been pretty much meh about being something other than human or human-like, such as Ismar. So I don't have any characters like that are of note. Mostly because some campaigns don't even get past the first 5 sessions. Or session 0 for that matter. So instead I got a couple people who I've played with that had some very stupid characters. First up is from when I was living back with the guys in 2010 or such. It was me, Jim, Carl, and our very dumb roommate, Tyler. I did not like this guy because he had no common sense, never picked up after himself, and had a new girl in his bed every week. Meanwhile, the 3 bachelors worked for a living and northern New York wasn't exactly stocked with geek women. But this isn't about the player himself, as much of a numbskull he was. This is about his character he had in the one and only session he's ever played in. An elven wizard who was named after the Nabisco Company. Seriously, this was something that Jim spurred onto him, where he looked around the room for name ideas. Now, there is nothing wrong with this concept in the slightest. He took the feats, he had some good spells, I even painstakingly helped him plot out what to do when he leveled up so that he could take Arcane Archer as the prestige class. Problem is, he didn't take any of that advice where to put his numbers. The thing about Arcane Archer from 3.5 is that they had the ability to channel magic into every arrow they shot. They didn't gain more spells or anything reliant on intelligence beyond the need to cast first level arcane spells. Regardless of this, he insisted to put his highest stat into intelligence. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with this. He was going mostly spellcasting with his build, so by the time he was high enough leveled as a wizard/fighter to prestige into Arcane Archer, he'd have some of the better evocation spells. Except he seemed to ignore the Archer part of Arcane Archer. How bad did he do this? He put his 8 into Dexterity, and with his +2 from an elf, that would equal a total of 10. His logic was that, oh, it's not a minus, so it could be good enough to become an archer, right? Look, I'm all for putting a dump stat into an ability score to make an interesting character, but if you wanted to build a character to be as awesome as you planned him to be, maybe you should, I don't know, put something higher than an 8 in your Dexterity score? It's like claiming to be the master with the two-handed sword style, then taking a flaw to lose an arm. It's fine though, as I said, the session lasted only one night. One of the reasons may have been that he triple rolled a 1 when he charged a goblin when firing a longbow, tripped and shot straight up while landing on his back with an arrow coming down and piercing right through his neck. I seem to remember that he was also way too drunk to care about his character's death. One other one was much more recent during Pathfinder. I started a campaign with my sister and her friends. They're cool guys, haven't much of a clue how to play, save for one of them, and this one was... hoo boy. I don't know what to make of this guy in the slightest, to be completely honest. I'll call him Newton, cause I have some choice words for him. So he decided to play a bard. Okay, that's fine. A Knoll bard. That's still fine, odd choice but fine. And his instrument of choice was going to be the didgeridoo. This stopped computing in my head after the Knoll bard part, but a didgeridoo? Well, so he explained to me, well, gnolls are pretty much hyena people, right? Right. That means they don't have lips. What are you getting at? So when he goes to blow the didgeridoo, his lip flaps would just slap around. He goes to blow through the instrument. After a solid 10 to 15 seconds of stunned silence at the logic he provided, I think it was my sister who had asked him, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? We all got what it was going for. He just found it funny that, thanks to magic, he'd be giving us enhancement bonuses in combat by essentially making the same noise you make by grabbing your cheeks and flapping them about. It didn't hinder the game at all, it was just a silly idea that he had no effect on stats or numbers. It just makes us give him a long stare when he goes, "I use my bardic inspiration." Yeah, this was a shorter one, but these were definitely the most notable that I had off the top of my head. Thank you all for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed more D&D stories. If you enjoyed this video, you can show me that by hitting the like button, maybe leaving a silly story of another stupid player or DM that you had in the comments below, and sharing the stories with your friends. If you want to stay up to date on when I release more D&D stories or my Let's Plays, you can subscribe as well. I have like 5 or 6 D&D games I have played on the channel as well, so I got a small backlog with them if you haven't watched them yet. Here's some annotations so you can go click on them. Thank you all for watching and listening, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Cheers.